Canada has just seen another drop in its inflation rate after we started to see this slowdown in January. This comes after a year of rate increases and price hikes. The inflation rate has cooled to 5.2% in February, according to Statistics Canada. That is the largest deceleration since April 2020. So here's the thing. Despite the drop, we're still seeing some of the highest food prices we've ever seen, well, within the last year, I should say. So the question is, why is this happening? William Huggins is a lecturer of corporate finance and business economics at the DeGroote School of Business at McMaster University. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. I was a little surprised to hear about the Nutella, Lindsay.
Well, how much is Nutella these days? That's what everybody wants to know. Is it more expensive or less expensive?
More expensive. Pretty much everything's more expensive.
And that's the thing, right? When we talk about the inflation rate is slowing down, but then we see the food prices. I'm going to put some up on the screen now. Hopefully you can see them there. William, so we're looking at pastas up 23.1%, lettuce up 20.2%, butter 19.7%. So why are the food prices still so high?
A lot of the food prices are still going up, mostly because we've had problems internationally with supply chains. We've had, for instance, problems with avian flu. We've had this in the States. It's now threatening in Brazil. There are problems with African swine fever in China. We've had trouble getting enough employees to come back post-pandemic. There are still supply chains snarled up for the most part. We've seen this not just in Canada, but also in the United States as well. So rather than people thinking it's very much of a homegrown problem, it's much more of a North American logistic problem.
So when we're looking sort of into the near future, if we can, when could we start to see prices come down a little bit on the grocery side?
On the grocery side, there was a Dalhousie report that came out recently that was looking at Canadian food supply, and they estimate that our food prices are going to continue to rise throughout the rest of the year, anywhere from, on average, about 3 to as much as 5%. Now, of course, that's based off of statistical averages and a consensus view. Last year, they estimated it would be about 5 to 7%, and we got closer to 12 to 14. But this is mostly because there were a lot of unexpected and unforeseen things like droughts that had a major impact internationally on our ability to produce food, as well as disruptions for food exports out of the Black Sea due to the war in Ukraine.
Okay, so food prices are remaining high for, the near future. What are we seeing drop?
There are certain things that have given us a little bit of a bright patch in terms of inflation, which has helped to bring down the overall inflation rate. You probably noticed at the gas pump that oil prices are down, so energy prices have fallen a little bit, and that's taken some of the wind out of the sails in other areas. Looking at the components of CPI, a couple of other things are down. You may remember a year ago, that everybody's used car was in very, very high demand.
That's right.
Transportation costs are actually down, which is unusual. Normally things rise at a slower rate than average, but in this case, transportation costs are actually down. Clothing and apparel is sideways. Anybody who remembers trying to buy electronics during the pandemic, we've seen graphics cards and the like come down in price as well.
So fair to say that these rate hikes are having the desired outcome, or too soon?
Normally, interest rate hikes, they'll tell you in a textbook, will take anywhere from 12 to 18 months to sort of play out because there's like a series of dominoes that need to fall. And rate hikes are really just the first domino that cascade into people buying a little bit less and therefore prices rising a little bit slower. So yes, we are seeing the effects of that. In fact, we've been seeing the effects of some of these rate hikes for a little while now. If we take a look at the price levels that go into inflation, what we basically saw is sort of an S-curve. Prices are slowly drifting upwards, then accelerated, and then started to plateau again. The last 8 or 9 months, things have been plateauing. And that's one of the reasons we've been seeing the annual inflation rate coming down, because prices just haven't been spiking as much in the last 6 months. We've still seen increases in groceries, so it's been very visible to people that the grocery side of things.
Right.
But a lot of other prices are beginning to settle down a little bit. We're no longer in the range of seeing 5 and 10% increases in a year.
Well, I will end on that slightly hopeful note. William, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Right on. Try the Nutella. It's worth it.
Really? Do you like it?
It really is good. I love hazelnuts and
What
chocolate.
do you put it on? Toast?
Toast is pretty good. You could put it on dry bread. You could put it on toast. Nutella's pretty tasty, though.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll try it.
Crackers.
So many ideas, William.
Have a great morning.
All right. Thanks so much.